Hey everyone, Braden here coming to you with a breaking Disney news update on perhaps the biggest blindside announcement we got at the D23 fan event this past weekend. The announcement that Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida is about to receive Disney's first ever suspended roller coaster themed to Monsters, Inc., where guests will swing around the Door Factory from the legendary 2001 Disney Pixar film. People are very nervous about where this might be going. We're about to get into all of that, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts there. I think what shocked Disney fans the most about this is it wasn't in most people's predictions for this D23 event. However, we pretty much all know about this idea. We know it's been on the table in the past. It's been floating around in the rumor mill for something like 20 years. At Disney's Hollywood Studios, you already have one of Walt Disney World's most serious coasters. That is Rock 'n' Roller Coaster, of course, which launches guests 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds and features a rollover as well as a corkscrew. Opening back in 1999, it really pushed the bounds on what thrill seekers could expect from a Disney attraction. And the other big feature of Rock 'n' Roller Coaster, of course, was the Aerosmith sponsorship, the Aerosmith music, which blasts from 120 speakers mounted on each train alone. Fast forward to the 2010s, and rumors were abound that Imagineering was seeking to retheme the attraction to a Disney intellectual property, moving away from the Aerosmith rock band theme. However, despite Aerosmith clearly being on the way out at the Disney's Hollywood Studios attraction, where in recent years Disney de-themed the exit gift shop, the overall theme is still yet to go over there, and no Monsters, Inc. area was announced at the 2017 D23 Expo when it was the most predicted, or the 2019 Expo, or any of the more recent D23 fan events up until this past weekend. So the rumor fell out of the rumor mill till suddenly last weekend we got the announcement from Parks Chairman Josh D'Amaro that not only is a Door Factory coaster coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios, a whole land is coming. Listen to this.
Now, in this new land, humans have been invited to visit Monstropolis, and they need our laughter to power the city. As part of this new Monsters experience, you're going to get to tour the Laugh Factory. I don't know about all of you guys, but the first time I saw Monsters, Inc., all I wanted to do was zoom through the door ball like Mike and Sully, right? You all are going to go into the factory and experience the first suspended coaster ever at a Disney park. How those claws, they grab the doors and they hoist them up into the air and they take them away. Yeah, we're going to do that too. And you're along for the ride. Now here's the great thing. Construction on the project starts next year, and I can tell you that there is so much excitement and Imagineering for the land.
So that long-rumored Monsters, Inc. Miniland and Door Factory coaster are officially happening at Disney's Hollywood Studios. Some wild stuff. The crowd reaction to this one at D23 was insane. People were very, very excited. However, since this concept was first brought before fans at the event this past weekend, speculation has been growing daily on exactly where this is going inside of Disney's Hollywood Studios and how it might impact the park's existing attractions. Because your first thought might be, oh, they're replacing Rock 'n' Roller Coaster. Well, I doubt that for a number of reasons. This is speculation, but I am quite sure Rock 'n' Roller Coaster is going to be getting a retheme soon, but I don't think they're willing to rip out all of the perfectly good Vekoma track that they have in there that they just finished major infrastructure improvements on. And I think the reason Rock 'n' Roller Coaster isn't getting riding monsters is precisely because Imagineering wanted to do this suspended ride system format instead, where you're going to be hanging from a coaster track and your seat will actually be swinging back and forth. This is a product that the ride manufacturer Vekoma offers that it looks like Disney is going to be using here, maybe a slightly modified version of. And the other versions of this, it's notable, if you look at the other versions that are out there, they're all outdoors. This one is going to be inside. It's going to be highly themed and have lots of show elements, it looks like. So this is going to be some pretty next level stuff from Disney. Much more Monsters, Inc. Door Factory style than if you're riding in an upright car in a rethemed Rock and Roller Coaster. So given this doesn't really look anything like Rock and Roller Coaster, that has led fans to look to other areas of the park where this is more likely to go. And rather mean on Disney's part, really fueling the very intense fan debate online right now, Disney released two completely contradictory pieces of concept art, exterior renderings for this new Monsters area, in which one has the Door Factory and this little Monsters area very clearly set where the animation courtyard currently sits. You can make out some of the distinct motifs of that area, in particular those two rows of trees out front, but Disney also released another piece of art, which is, in my opinion, clearly a version of the Monsters, Inc. Miniland set in the current Muppet Courtyard area, where we have the beloved Jim Henson Muppet Vision 3D attraction. Before we go any further, you guys, I want to say right now we are getting into subjective analysis of concept art, and you should never read too much into concept art or take it as gospel, especially Disney concept art, because if we've learned anything in the past 5 years, what Disney ends up delivering differs a lot from the original announcement's concept art. And even further, if you look at this art that looks like it's in the current Muppets area, but it's rethemed to monsters, if you take a look at the artist's signature, it was made back in 2020. So this is old art that Disney pulled out to give us something to announce at the D23 Expo, even though Josh says, this is all very, very active stuff, very, very active. Oh, really? You're giving us 4-year-old concept art, Mr. Demaro. So taking a look at this piece of art, when I first saw it, I noticed immediately the pavers on the ground. They clearly look like the Muppet Courtyard pavers. And those buildings in the background, one of them does look a bit like a building that is on the end of the Grand Avenue Street, that end of it where you have the Baseline Tap House. So it kind of looks like you're looking from the current Muppets area towards Grand Avenue and Star Tours, that direction. So it sort of looks like you're facing east from in front of Muppet Vision 3D. Now, if that's the case, and the giant Door Factory coaster is extending out in front of us, that's where Star Tours currently sits, as well as the Backlot Express restaurant. And I told you guys in my predictions video, I even said you heard it here first, because I had a bit of an idea we might hear something about this. I had received word that Muppets and Star Tours could be on the chopping block at Disney's Hollywood Studios as part of these D23 announcements. However, Star Tours fans especially do not freak out too much, because my analysis of this concept art, what I just showed you, it quickly changed after I took a closer look at it. And that is because I started to suspect, based on the incongruities between the Grand Avenue facades that we have and these facades you see in the back of this art, they're clearly not the same. They're kind of similar looking, but they are different. These are new facades themed to Monstropolis. And if we orient ourselves, imagine you're standing in front of the Muppet Vision entrance, but this time you're looking southeast towards Pizza Rizzo's, and that extends out to the parking lot. Suddenly, this piece of concept art fits a lot better. In this theory, the Monsters, Inc. Door Factory coaster would go here, where we currently have the Pizza Rizzo's quick service restaurant, the abandoned gift shop, which has been closed since 2020, and the Mama Melrose table service restaurant. So if we place the Door Factory coaster here, that means in the concept art, off screen to our right, is the Muppet Vision 3D Theater. And in this concept, I suspect the Muppet Vision Theater would stay there. It would still be there, except it would be rethemed to host the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor, the attraction currently at the Magic Kingdom, which has always been rumored to be part of this Monsters, Inc. Miniland thing alongside the Door Factory coaster. This has been rumored since the early 2010s at least. And that is what would make this Monsters, Inc. area a Monsters, Inc. area. It wouldn't just be one single e-ticket ride. There would be a secondary attraction with the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. Let me know what you guys think about that. So going back to this concept art location theory, off to our left, those facades, they don't seem like anything we currently have, but they also don't seem far away. Well, you know what's not far away from Muppet Vision? The Star Tours show building. It is right next door. So what if Star Tours is safe, but they're tearing down Pizza Rizzo's, which means then you'd be able to see the simulator bays over at Star Tours. So what Disney has planned is to put up these Monstropolis-themed facades in the style of the Grand Avenue and Streets of America backlot facades to hide the Star Tours show building while we are in this Monsters area. And then the whole area leads to this big Door Factory gravity building built where the amenities deep in the Muppet Courtyard currently sit, and it could extend back into the backstage area behind there and even into the parking lot, providing them plenty of space for this very large looking gravity building. Now, I want to be clear, Disney has not said where this Monsters area is going to go in Disney's Hollywood Studios. It is all speculation. You can take your pick of where this might go. Some people are saying maybe it'll go at Indy. Some people are saying maybe it'll go where the Lightning McQueen Racing Academy is. People have all sorts of theories. However, the top two contenders by far, based on the concept art we got, are the Animation Courtyard area or the Muppets area. And I think I speak for 95% of those watching when I say, Disney, please do not destroy any more of your classic attractions. This Monsters, Inc. land should go to the Animation Courtyard because the Animation Courtyard area is a complete joke. Disney destroyed their animation exhibits in that building, which were unbelievably awesome. That building is an actual piece of history. It is where they animated classic Disney films of the modern era that people know and love. Unbelievably, they turned that into a cheap, tacky Star Wars meet and greet area, completely underutilized. The Animation Courtyard is a ghost town. Hardly anyone is over there. And the reason we see nothing new come over to that area is because the animation building is actually a giant piece of corporate real estate. It is an office building currently being used by Walt Disney World management and other Disney personnel. It also houses production studios for recording voiceover and things like that for the parks and other products that Disney puts out. Knowing what we know of the spreadsheet executives like Walt Disney World President Jeff Volley, is it more likely he chooses to relocate hundreds of employees, build a new corporate office somewhere else, demolish the existing offices, and then build a coaster at this Animation Courtyard location? Or is it more likely that they demolish two small-time, low-attendance restaurants and an abandoned gift shop and build a coaster there and repurpose a perfectly good theater for the Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor? The latter sounds much cheaper and much more like the addition by subtraction, cost-optimized decision-making we are very used to from this current crop of executives, right in line with what they just announced with Cars replacing the Rivers of America at the Magic Kingdom, not to mention previous things we've seen. Now, I want to make clear again, I don't know for certain that Monsters, Inc. is coming to the Muppet Courtyard area, but people saying Muppet Vision can't be touched, that is not true. Disney executives say Walt Disney World is free game. They say nothing is sacred. The executives literally say at Walt Disney World there are no sacred cows. Again, they are filling in the entire Rivers of America and closing the Liberty Bell at the Magic Kingdom. That is Admiral Joe Fowler, Walt Disney, core Disneyland theme park format DNA that ties the entire Magic Kingdom together. If they're willing to do that, you seriously think Muppets is safe? Over at Disneyland, they managed to both retain the Rivers of America and enhance it with a beautiful new bridge for the railway, while also adding a 14-acre Star Wars land behind it. And Disneyland does not have the blessing of size that we have at Walt Disney World. By contrast, we can see the care and consideration given towards the thematic integrity and history and meaning and memories at our resort is nada. The executives don't care. They consistently do the path of least resistance, easiest thing. So with that mindset, I just find it hard to believe that they're going to tear down their own offices for a coaster when there's a much cheaper option available. So just be aware, anything is possible here. Please hope that Monsters is heading to the completely underutilized animation courtyard area. That is where it should go, or perhaps some other underutilized area of the park, rather than going over to the already great Muppet Courtyard. We need these parks to expand. We asked for expansions, and these things that they're calling expansions are actually just replacements of things we already love. Be prepared for whatever happens by making sure that you are subscribed with those notifications on, as I will bring you all the updates as soon as we get them. Let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. From the Mickey V's Magic Studio, this is Braden. Have a magical day.